I accused him of being a killer, of killing his own grandmother, and he took the bait. Case closed. So I was giving this class, the Stanford Business School, on Jewish business ethics. We're talking about charity, responsibility. At the end of the class, a Muslim student raises his hand. His name was Ali. And he says, "Rabbi, I have a question." So I say, "Sure, ask." He says, "Why is it that your state, the Jewish state, Israel, behaves in a way that is exactly opposite to all the values we've been discussing the last hour? Tell us why that is." It becomes quiet in the class. I say, "Ali, I appreciate your question and your passion. It's not the topic of the class. I'd be happy to come back. We can have a whole discussion, a dialogue about the Middle East and Israel. However, because you asked the question, I don't want to leave you hanging, so I'll give you an answer, a brief answer." I said, "Ali, tell all of us, why did you kill your grandmother?" He says, "Rabbi, I didn't kill my grandmother." I said, "Ali, just tell us, come on, why did you kill your grandmother?" He says, "I didn't kill my grandmother." I said, "Ali, is your grandmother still alive?" He says, "No, my grandmother's not alive." I said, "So you admit that she's dead?" He says, "Yeah, I admit that." I said, "So you see within 30 seconds, first you didn't kill her now." And people started to laugh. And Ali realized that he walked into some kind of Talmudic trap. You see, the moment he answered my question, he had lost the argument. Finished. I accused him of being a killer, of killing his own grandmother, and he took the bait. Case closed. That narrative, you justified that narrative, over. And friends, I'm sorry to say, but that's exactly what is going on college campuses, to the Jewish community across the world. The Jewish students are locked into a narrative where Israel is the villain, where Israel is responsible for all the crimes of the 21st century, the most grotesque, ethnic cleansing, genocide. Israel, not Syria, not North Korea, divestment, censure, boycott, Israel, Israel. And the Jewish student is trapped in that kind of narrative, and the moment we give that narrative any dignity, we have lost the argument. And there are Jewish students with wonderful intention. And you hear this argument a lot on college campus and in the Jewish community. Well, these are just words. So you have students running around Berkeley, burning tires, boycotting Israel. Who cares? Hot air. It's just words. How does that affect us? No damage done. But friends, just a few miles from here, you have the Holocaust Museum, which the Holocaust Museum in Washington is singular in the world. There are very few museums, period, that leave an impact on the individual like the Holocaust Museum here. But when you see that museum and you walk into it, you will encounter what seems to be a structural oddity. The Holocaust Museum has 3 floors. The first floor, the entire floor, is the preamble to the Holocaust, the 1930s. The second floor is the Holocaust. The third floor is the rescue and the aftermath. If you go to that museum, you can spend hours, a whole day on the first floor, the preamble. You don't even get to the Holocaust. So why is it that they give equal time to the 1930s as to the Holocaust itself? Should they not have structured the facility so that the Holocaust is on the first floor? And what they did is very wise. The only way the Holocaust was able to happen, as it happened, in the heart of a civilized world in the 20th century was because the Germans and the Nazi machine and the Third Reich relentlessly villainized the Jewish people in the 1930s. Any article, every newspaper, every broadcast, we were demonized. We were turned into subhumans, and the narrative stuck. The words have power. And because that narrative was around, that is what allowed the Holocaust to happen. Had you not had the 1930s, it would be impossible for the Holocaust to happen as it happened. Words are awesomely powerful. And therefore, the Jewish community cannot allow words, vilification. When the average college student begins to think that Israel is guilty of the greatest crimes against humanity, then when Israel gets rocketed, people say perhaps they deserve it. That is the fact. The facts are uncomfortable, but those are the facts. But friends, when the Jewish community comes together, when we stand with pride and courage, there's no question that we can overcome this challenge. I mean, think of Israel's airline, El Al. El Al is the golden standard in airline security and aviation. Every airline on earth learns from El Al. At the same time, El Al is the most coveted terrorist target in the sky, without question. Who is El Al safe for? For Jew, for Christian, for Muslim, for everybody. You see, El Al knows that the airline belongs to the Jewish people. It doesn't equivocate, and it doesn't doubt that. And it knows it has a responsibility for all its passengers, Jew, Christian, and Muslim. And it is proud about how it guards its airline. And it has become a model to the world. If we treat our land, Eretz Yisrael, with the confidence and pride we treat our airline, it will only be a matter of time before Israel will be admired in that same way, when it would bring peace not only to the Jewish people, but to all its neighbors. Standing with pride and confidence inspires admiration, just like the airline does. And I would conclude with this. When we look at this situation, we might say it's very negative, very dire. But I would argue that we have every reason to be optimistic. Because if there's one lesson we learn from Jewish history, it is that we have great cause for optimism. And let me try to put it in the most simple way I can. There are 3 holidays on the Jewish calendar that emerge from, you might say, a BDS campaign. From boycotting and censoring and divesting and even trying to destroy the Jewish people. We all know them. Pesach, Purim, and Hanukkah. 3 empires. The Egyptian Empire, ancient Egypt, ancient Persia, the Assyrian Greeks, all massive and the greatest empires that have walked the face of earth, all said we will destroy and eradicate the Jewish people. Every one of them. What was the result of those 3 attempts? It's not merely that we survived and we're still here, celebrating today. But the Jewish question is, what is the holiday delicacy we eat on each one of these holidays? On Purim, we have Hamantash, a jelly cookie named after Haman, the one who wanted to destroy the Jewish people. Haman is a jelly cookie. Imagine that. Haman is a jelly cookie. Pharaoh is a matzah ball. He's a matzah. The Assyrian, the Greeks, donuts, sufganiyot, oil, latkes. We have taken the greatest enemies of our people. We didn't survive. We have turned them into cookies and jelly donuts and matzah balls, into blessings, into mitzvahs. And so, friends, there is no question that if we stand with pride and with dignity, pride as a Jew and pride in Artseinu HaKdosha, our holy land, there is no question that soon we will have yet another cookie. Perhaps it will be a Ahmadinejad waffle. May it be speedily in our day.